Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Who am I but I'm Dre Mac? Came into the game just to get backs. Into the space that I'm in. They call me Bobby Drake cause I'm cold with the pen. I find no diamonds but I still shine. You can dig me cause my boy's mine. My tracks flame like a dilute. I order blood on my tongue. Thinking it's a warm glue. I'ma throw with a gas leak. Camouflage in the mist but you smell me. One spark and I bet you I'ma blow up. Just throw my name around, get stupid, then you go dumb. No rest for the weary. A bitch is thinking in his man but she can't see me. You rather drink than go pull up. I'm drinking knife through the game, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. I came to eat at the a la carte. Got stripped of a bear, come me brainstorm. Then I come together like a Voltron. Then I poured all the planks to use the second kind. Straight rappers to retreats like Cobra. 80s they can throw they like. Up in the storage and I'm E-man. Up, down, down, man, I'm cheap. You a beast, man. I take a beating. Ninja Turtle rap, turtle plans to defeat it. High in my ride. You can call me Night Rider. You can never stop me. Cause I'm a guy bomb. Bad attitude like a rocket. My whole to the A. And I bet you can't stop us. LL bad when I go and show up. You can hear the haters in the back. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce. Don't get that honey sauce on me. I don't like the way it tastes with my chicken wings.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on, everybody? This is your man, Dre Mac, coming to you again with another episode of the Dre Mac Show. 7:30 in the morning Central Time, 8:30 on the East Coast. You're from the West Coast right now. Go ahead and get up because you already know but the early bird gets the worm. And on today, I've been waiting on this. Ever since it was going down on Twitter, I've been waiting on this video here. And you know what? But me and Birdman, let me know when the heat about to drop. Because I swear before God, he dropped this mug right after we got off the stream. I said, oh, snap, son. Now that we here. Oh, yeah, because I'm Mac Headroom right now over on the on the other side, on the what's that? What do you call that? The phone side. But anyway, he drops this video. I was looking at it going down back and forth on Twitter. So, of course, Eric July Birdman. Oh man, I've been waiting on this. I've been waiting on this. So I couldn't wait to do this. Uh I don't even know how long this video is. I don't know. I just seen it pop up and I was like, I got to watch this. And we gotta react to it. Because I was reacting to it on Twitter. So especially a lot of the stuff that Eric July was saying. And it did some other stuff I want to go over because I'm probably gonna have a couple clips off of this live right here. But anyway, hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. Shout out to my man Heavy Gan over at the Heavy Gan channel. But you already know how I do. The real question is, are you
Say why you hating on my energy? Say why you hating on my energy? I don't think you wanna be my enemy.
all right? Before we get to it, let me see who's all in the house today. Who is all in the house? Man, Mars up in the house. Good morning. Duran is up in here. Good morning. Alvaro Rodriguez, good morning. Miss Princetta, good morning. Good morning. Get here. Let me see. Xavier, good morning. Good morning. Do your network morning. I know. I know. I'm trying to tell you the whole interaction. I had popcorn. Am I? Hold on, wait a minute. How do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce it? Is it Shanae? Am I sure to say Shanae? What's up? Good morning. You talk about wrong. Because I could be wrong. But the word will be a little. Anyway, Robbie D, the admin, good morning. Jedi Carter, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Of course, I'm already knowing you ready to taste the biscuits. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get this thing going. You said there's an internet issue. All right, are you guys having internet? Do you have any issues with stream right now? If there's any issues with stream right now, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 if it's all good. This is good morning. What do you think? Good morning. Tell me if you have internet issues. You said it's choppy. I see. I was up on my side. I'm gonna have to do this. Let me go and see. You said everybody saying it's choppy. Hold on. I mean, it won't let me click my own stream. Won't let me click the stream. All right. So the audio, you said the feed keeps cutting in and out. That's weird. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me put you guys on break. I'm gonna be right back. Let's see if I can fix the feed. Hold on. All right. Are we still having some issues now? Are we still having some issues now? Hold on. Just let me know if we're still having issues now. Okay, put a 1 in the chat if it's good. Put a 2 in the chat if it's trash. Garbage Pail Juice. Eric July's commentary. Put a 2 if it's Eric July's commentary. Put a 1 in the chat if it's my commentary. Nah. All right. Oh, it's good. We good. We good. Looks like we're good. I don't know what it is because on my side, everything is crisp clear. I can hear my computer did reset itself last night. You know what I'm saying? So would you say is Eric July he don't YouTube trash him? Okay, I'm kind of maybe that's a typo. But okay, we good. We all good. All right. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Of course, I'm about to shout out my magnificent crew. Let's go ahead and shout you guys out. Let's go. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa. Stop everything you're doing. Go and hit that like button. I know this is probably your first time watching and you probably enjoying everything. Stop fucking on the channel and go and hit that subscribe button so you never miss one of my videos or one of my morning live streams. And for only $2.99 a month, you can be a part of the crew. And shout out to all my crew members that been holding it down for Dre Mac and the crew since the beginning. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program, now in service. Go. Bye. All right. All right, hold on real quick. And again, shout out to all my magnificent group members, man. You holding it down. I want to said the socialists try to shut it down. Oh, don't want me to trash him. I ain't worried about him. I ain't worried about Bill Cosby from Let's Do It Again trashing me. I'm not. So let me tell you what happened on. So you said it's glitching again. Are you serious? It's glitching again. It's not. It's not. My internet's strong. But you can know, or I'm not lying. Just Sam. What the whole entire? I think it's on. Hold on, real quick. Hold on. Tell me if it sounds glitchy or I sound like I'm using my AirPods on the mic. There's gotta be something going on. This is hold on, y'all. Hold on. Because I just went from my AirPods back to my fine mic. This mic. Better now? Is it better? Because I'm using this mic now. So is it better now? I'm not using those because it sounds trash. The audio is terrible on replay. So let me know if this mic is fine. Put a 1 in the chat if this mic is fine now. Or do I need to do whatever? Because I have no idea what's going on. Because again, I'm not having any problems on my side. Okay, we're good. We're officially good. Okay. All right. I hate using my AirPods. It sounds like garbage when you go in and try to get clips like that. Everybody just sound like trash. It sounds horrific. All right, good. All right. Oh, let me before I go into anything, I want to go into this. So we're talking about race swaps yesterday. You know, we was about Simon Williams, right? What the? I'm about to start cussing. Hold on, real quick. Hold on. Oh, this ain't me. This ain't me. This ain't working. Hold on, real quick. All right. I'm back. Can you hear me? Because this is making the stream go way longer than it's supposed to. And again, I don't understand what's going on. So let me know if you can hear me. Let me see. The mic is on. All right. Do we sound good? Derpy is so silly. All right. We good. No choppiness. You know, I'm over here and the other way, Mac Headroom. You know what I'm saying? But I'm good. As long as I'm good, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know, all right. We can finally get this show started. Because I have no idea what's going on. Because on my side, it looks perfect. You know what I mean? On my side, it looks perfect. So, I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, the Grifter gremlin came in and tried to get me. That's what it is. The Grifter gremlin came in and tried to get me. All right. So, okay. We just today we not as much as I like He-Man, we ain't talking He-Man right now. But that's awesome that it's dropping. The way that trailer reactions is going right now, people getting. I've been hit with way too many copyright strikes. Why don't you think I don't do them no more? This really ain't the stream to do it because I really want to do the stream about Mr. Eric July and the Birdman's unique take on socialism. Or somebody put Eric July. Eric Julies. You know what I mean? But I really want to get into this conversation. But before I get into this conversation, this is going to be clipped for Twitter. I mean, not for Twitter, for TikTok. One reason why I don't like TikTok, I really don't. I don't. So if you guys seen the short that I put up was about the race swap of Simon Williams when we did the reaction video to the Simon Williams a couple days ago. Yesterday we did Dr. Doom. So that short will come up with Dr. Doom. That short will come up soon. But some interesting things. First of all, black people, stop falling for symbolism. Stop falling for we'll just give you whatever and you should be happy. Just take it. You're there. That's number one. Number two, don't be a hypocrite. And the reason why I'm saying this, don't be a hypocrite is because just like the way that Simon Williams got race swapped, don't get mad if Vixen gets race swapped where you got Tilda Swinton playing Vixen. You know what I'm saying? Angelina Jolie is playing a Storm. Doesn't sound right, right? It doesn't sound right when, T'Challa now is played by Timothy Charlemagne or whoever. Charlemagne or whatever. It doesn't sound right, right? This is where I'm getting at with the race swap. I want Yahya Abdul-Mateen to play a original black character in the MCU. T'Challa is still available. You got, Blue Marvel and all of these different characters, Night Thrasher, and different black characters that's out there. Why would you settle for a race swap just to see a black man on screen? You're going to see a black man on screen. I mean, I did have the same feeling with Jonathan Majors playing Kane the Conqueror. Because Kane the Conqueror was a white man the whole entire time until they did the Avengers cartoon, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. But don't fall for that when it comes to the big screen, because if you fall for that, then this is the same reason why y'all falling for T'Challa Jr. and believe that a black man can't take the role of a deceased actor and take on that role and carry it with them. And keep the legacy going. No different than Spider-Man, Superman, all these other mans that's out there that's played by white mans. They can carry their legacy, but y'all want to be stifled with one. And then be happy for a race swap. Genghis Khan was played by John Wayne. That's what you want? Keep playing with these race swaps like that and being happy for that, and that's what you gonna get. All right, let me go ahead and transition over because I wanted to throw that out there because that really pissed me off. And I'm gonna just read you the comments. I'm gonna just read you the comments. Sora 247 said race swapping is robbing us of telling great stories. I hate this SM, bro. Then this guy David Dawn put, imagine being so invested in the effing whiteness of Simon effing Williams. And I put, imagine if they had Storm played by a white woman. This Joe Babbitt says, so the essence of a effing character is being white, huh? And I responded, you don't listen. The first part of the conversation is the race swap. With all the other black characters that Yaya can play, Marvel decided to race swap a character for no reason whatsoever. The second part is the essence of the character from print to screen. That's not intertwined. All right. B said the essence of Wonder Man isn't that he's white, and the fact that we doing this to an amazing black actor is crazy. And I put, we need to quit falling for just the okie-doke because we need original black characters to get shine for amazing black talent instead of them being filled by a race-swapped character. See, nobody wanted to go back and forth after I made my statement. Nobody wanted to get in because I was saying, number two, if the essence of the character that you read is not the same, people gonna be like, what does that have to do with him being, did I put the emphasis that if he's not like how he is, white, like, you know, strong-jawed white man doing strong-jawed white man things, it's a fail. This is when I know the internet doesn't listen. Why I don't like TikTok. I'm still going to flood the airwaves with my TikTok stuff anyway. But this is one of the reasons why I don't like TikTok. Because people don't listen. People want to go on rage bait. They want to be the cool person. Everybody gets a thumbs up. Let's ratio him without listening to what I'm saying. Stop falling for the race swap all the time. You fall for the race swap, and especially in a genre like comic books, then what's going to happen when they race swap a black character white? All you're going to do is go in there and protest. Now you're going to feel a certain way. Now you're going to be all in your feelings. Now you're going to be sitting up here making TikToks, making YouTube shorts, doing all of that. You're a hypocrite if you like one and get mad at the other. Period. All right, let's go ahead and transition over because I just wanted to get that off my chest. I'm one of those type of people that like getting things off his chest. Got that off my chest. All right, let's transition over. And let's go ahead and take a pic. Y'all had a long pause. But we're gonna take I gotta take a biscuit break. I'll be right back with more of the Dre Max Show.
Will be
Right back.
It's just your mama's raisin butter biscuits. That's all it is.
Not my mama biscuits.
Whoop they do.
Nigga love to a biscuit, man.
Whoop they do.
Okay, so what happened is one time Randy Beeman went on a trip with his dad and they picked up a lady who wanted to ride home, and this was in Kansas. And she sat in the back seat, and when they got where she wanted to go, they turned around and she was gone. And Randy Beeman's dad talked to the man who lived there and told him what the lady looked like. And the man said, "Oh, that's my wife, but she died 4 years ago." Spooky, huh? Okay, bye.
Whoop they do.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Whoop they do.
Good idea. Visiting the circus. Bad idea. Having the circus visit you.
We now return to the Transformers.
All right. Rosales Comics. Exactly. I remember when Kevin Feige came out and talked about, we learned our lesson with Tilda Swinton playing the ancient one, because the ancient one's supposed to be played by an old Tibetan person, but because we sell this movie to China, we can't put the character there for fear for backlash. Sure, race swap a white character to a black one, and then you got these. See, what they don't understand, what the people don't understand that defend this crap is the reason they don't have to go and listen to people like Eric July, listen to the Critical Drinker, Neurotic, all of this. So talk about DEI. Look, this is another DEI hire. Hell, Riri Williams is an original black character, and they call her DEI Iron Man, when she was introduced basically as the ward to Iron Man. No different than what they did with Spider-Man in the MCU. They just took Riri Williams' story and slapped it to Spider-Man. Then literally told Spider-Man Brand New Day and slapped it on Riri. But see, these common fans, these people who want to rage bait and see TikToks and want to go up there and get your little fingers together on your little phone or whatever and complain, don't understand how deep the rabbit hole is, because they don't want to deal with the rabbit hole. They don't want to deal with all these people talking crazy on us, and all we want is the characters. I want white people to play their characters. So I'm just being honest, and Miss Roberta, I apologize. I just want these people to shut the fuck up. I want you to play your character, be your character. All that crying and whining about DEI, whatever, give them their characters back. Give them their characters back so I can hear them shut up. I'm sick and tired of always hearing this whining and crying and this bitching and moaning and complaining from these far-right dipshits that always crying about DEI, this, that, and the other, and all this other crap. Give them their characters back so they can shut up. Period. I wouldn't have nothing to react to if these people shut up. And the cronies that follow them. All right, I'm done. I'm done. I done did enough yelling. They're gonna shut my stream down again. All right, let's transition over. Let's transition because I done got to yelling. But I had to let that be known because I'm sick of it. I'm dead serious. I'm sick of it. All right. Yes, I know there's two. There's one for the mobile version and one for the regular version. All right. Oh. All right. Exactly, Erica. It's just, Anyway, let's get to the Birdman, Eric July. Let's go. I can't wait for this.
So our old pal Eric July posted a video on Twitter and YouTube declaring that the bad guys in World War II were, in fact, socialists. What is happening here is a long-standing attempt by a certain batch of conservatives to associate socialism with Nazism and therefore make socialism out to be evil or criminal. That's not really conjecture, as Eric has tweeted as much. And this,
I'm trying to tell you, him and Eric going back and forth. I think Eric blocked him. But man, I was all reading all the comments and all of that. But before we get into it, let's get the understanding so we all know what socialism actually is. And let's see if Eric is going to use it in a correct context of sentence. And I know Birdman is going to do that, but I want us to read it first, and then we're going to let the video go. So socialism is an economic and political system advocating for social or collective ownership, government, community, or worker control of the means of production and resources, aiming for a more equitable distribution of wealth and focusing on the community's well-being over private profit, differing from capitalism's emphasis on private ownership and free markets. It's a broad ideology encompassing diverse models from state-run systems like Soviet-style communism to democratic socialism, which integrates socialist goals with democratic processes and market elements often seen in modern welfare states providing universal health care and education. Core principles: social ownership. Key industries, resources, and properties are owned or controlled by the public, community, or workers, not private individuals. Collective benefit. Production and distribution are managed to serve the needs of the general population, prioritizing social welfare. Economic equality aims to reduce the wealth gaps and ensure everyone has access to essential services like education, healthcare, and housing. Critique of capitalism views unrestricted capitalism as exploitive, leading to inequality and instability, and seeks to replace or significantly modifies it. So, now that we know the gist of it, let's see if Eric July ever is going to use any of this in its correct context.
This is probably going to be the most politically relevant video I've ever made, and I really hate that I have to do this because politics bore me to death, and I hate talking about this shit. But I'm here for a couple
That's
of
why
reasons.
I got off of politics.
The first is this cleanly demonstrates that Eric July is a grifter that has weaseled his way into media discourse, which is the purpose of this series. I'm sure many of you have heard of the pipeline by now, and when you look at Eric's channel, you can see clearly that he's trying his damnness to break into the right-wing political grift, as that space is very lucrative for the dregs of society.
Facts. And when I did this video about 4 years ago, when him and the cat from and I've stopped following him too, from Black Sands Entertainment, I went before, you know, I did the video. After I did the video, I just trying to see who this guy was. I'm like, okay, he's a creator. It was after I did that video, I went to go look and listen to what he was talking about. And he was a far-right libertarian. Instead of just coming out and saying I'm a Republican, they go by libertarian. But he's so far-right libertarian. And then I started listening to what he had to say, and I'm like, this ain't my cup of tea. So I never did a video about him ever again that had to do with, you know, him doing ISOM and stuff like that, because we don't rock politically together at all. You know what I mean? And then the whole thing with the Peter Darker and not really knowing just basic comic book knowledge. I'm good.
The second reason is Eric basically challenged me to do this. You see, I quote tweeted him and said my piece and was going to leave it at that. But then he quote tweeted me stating that I committed an ad hominem fallacy. And
yep,
you know,
I was reading
it kind
this.
of annoys me that a large percentage of this series has become me having to define words for these silly people. But that's not what an ad hominem means.
Exactly. Tell them what an ad hominem
is. Essentially avoiding the argument altogether while attacking the motive or character of your opponent. It does not.
That's why I always say, if you listen to a lot of these dudes who get on here, don't know what they're talking about, and you call them out, what they start doing is just like some of the women who don't take accountability. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Shout out to the Godfather for that. Sign language. Sign language. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. That's what an ad hominem is. When you go and start breaking down their arguments, and they call you names, and they do all of this, and they deflect it. They do everything but talk about the subject. I just looked at the Corey Holcomb anti-Daniels thing or whatever. Still need to start the second channel, but that's coming. It's coming soon. I got a lot of other stuff that I need to do, but it is coming soon. But what I learned about the anti-Daniels Corey Holcomb thing is that when Corey Holcomb asked him a question, he did everything in his power to talk crazy, because I don't like anti-Daniels either. He another grifter. He another right-wing political talking head and blackface. When you know you're losing, when you know you're losing, you don't have the answer. You want to do the answers, you go start attacking. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. That's what they do. So you can't answer the question. You don't want to answer the question. So now you get loud, you get obnoxious, you're avoiding. And this is exactly what Eric July was doing on Twitter. I'm not calling that crap X, it's Twitter. It's what he was doing on Twitter on yesterday. Let's keep going.
Not mean you insulted someone. An example of an ad hominem is if person A says seatbelts reduce the risk of death in car accidents, and then person B says, yeah, well, you failed high school, so your argument doesn't matter. This is what an ad hominem actually looks like. For fuck's sake. Anyway, looking at my actual tweet, you can see that I did address the overarching argument by making the claim that Nazis were socialist in name only, and that they used the term socialist for propagandistic purposes. Eric just didn't like the way I responded to his claim. But fine, Eric, I'll put your video in a blender and debunk you point by point if that's what you truly want.
And it was funny. He turned around and posted the video on his thing. You know, say, hey, you wanted it, here it goes.
I want to preface this by saying that I did a 30-minute plus video deep dive on this years ago. You should go check that out. And it's still true. Yes, the Nazis were socialists. And no, that does not mean they were Marxists. And it does not mean modern socialists are all Nazis. Let's get that out of the way.
As has become standard in this series, let's define our terms. On Merriam-Webster, there are 3 definitions for socialism, but the third includes a reference to Marxism, which is what Eric says the Nazis did not subscribe to, so we can ignore the third and focus on the first 2. According to the dictionary, socialism is an egalitarian economic and political policy that advocates for the collective or governmental ownership and administration of the means of production and distribution of goods.
Same thing that I read. So I read that at the beginning to make sure that me and Birdman was on the same page. So let's keep going.
In other words, socialism means shared or governmental control of key parts of the economy to reduce or eliminate inequality. The second definition states a system or society where there is no private property, which is a rather descriptive definition that speaks to one of the outcomes of socialism rather than what it actually means. But hey, this is what the dictionary says. That out of the way, using the dictionary's framework, the claim Eric is making becomes that Nazi Germany's economic system sought to address inequality by having egalitarian policies that favored the German people having the means of production. It also suggests that there was no private property. Does that sound like Nazi Germany to literally any of you?
Nope.
Now, this isn't what Eric is claiming, and therein lies the problem.
This is where it's going.
He doesn't know what socialism actually means.
He doesn't.
Because if he did, he'd know claiming Germany in the late 30s and early 40s was socialist is a laughable claim. But the issue is that people like Eric have been trying to demonize socialism in this manner for a long time. So,
because if you benefit off of, like, basically he's a capitalist, right? And what I mean by that is, you know, as long as I have control, as long as I free market enterprise, I can have control of my thing, no matter what I got to do to get it. I don't want to share with you. What I want to do is have the control. And that's what capitalism is. I want to be able to build my own thing, control it the way I want to do it. If I want to charge $1,000 for a comic book, damn it, you just gonna have to pay $1,000 because it's my thing. It's because I'm a capitalist. And in hell, in this society, a lot of us deal with capitalism. Whether and a lot of us are capitalists by nature because of the land that we're raised in. We're raised in America to be capitalists. I was always taught growing up in the 80s and in the 90s, there's a dog-eat-dog world, so you got to get it before they get you. You know what I mean? People get killed on the streets, you know what I'm saying, because of capitalism. Because I'd rather sell drugs to my own people, you know what I mean, make all the money off of them, and I don't care if they die or not, but I'm not sharing the wealth with none of y'all. I got jury and hoes to buy. That's literally what goes on in this country. You know, and the sharing of the wealth, the sharing of goods and services, and making sure everybody eats. I mean, the Black Panther Party was talking about that. The whole free lunch program, you know what I mean? Free healthcare, you know, making sure everybody had healthcare. For the people. Y'all better let me shut up. What up, Rico?
Attributing the philosophy to Nazism is an easy way to accomplish this goal. Remember, socialism is primarily an economic framework,
it's
not a form of government.
Yep.
Socialism tells you how the economy is structured, not how the government rules.
Facts.
As I mentioned on Twitter, there were many private organizations operating in a capitalistic framework during the Nazis' rule of Germany, including Daimler-Benz, IG Farben, and Krupp. As the second definition of socialism clearly explains, in a socialist society, there is no private property. This means those for-profit companies I just named simply could not exist in Nazi Germany if they were actually socialist.
Exactly.
But they did exist. So what the hell does Eric actually mean when he says the Nazis were socialist?
Now, why do people constantly get this wrong? It's because they treat socialism like it has only one valid form. Usually it's Marxism, and anything outside of that gets.
Have you noticed a lot of these grifters are changing the definition of things to fit a narrative? Listen to me when I say this. Grifters change the definition of words and all of that to fit a narrative. Just letting you know. So how much you want to bet he's going to change the word, or he's going to use his own definition, not something that's coming out of a scholarly book, not out of the dictionary. Eric is going to try his best to use made up stuff that he made up to fit his narrative. Let's go. Let's see if he does this. Grifter, this is Grifter Handbook 101. Learned it from Critical Drinker and all the other dudes. He had his head, up their butts. You know what I'm saying, to get this.
Hand waved away. Historically, that's nonsense. Socialism has always been this family of ideas, and socialists have constantly fought other socialists. Proudhon fought Marx. Marx fought Lassalle. Lenin fought the Mensheviks. Stalin killed Trotskyists. They killed other socialists has never been an argument against the fact that they were actually socialists.
Once again, I remind the audience that socialism is an economic philosophy centered around reducing inequality. This means you can be a socialist, but have wildly different ideas about how a government should be ran. To put it in comic book terms, what Eric just did is like saying superpowered beings fight each other.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any more information you'd like to give? They share the trait of having superpowers, yes, but their motivations are entirely different. And what matters is their motivation, not the fact that they have superpowers.
So let's define this cleanly. At its core, socialism rejects true private ownership of means of production and prioritizes the collective over the individual. No matter how they claim to be anti-state, the state determines how property is used to benefits and in what quantities, always in the name of the common good.
You probably now see Eric's argument taking shape. He's attempting to position a socialist as a person that is or claims to be anti-state, only for the state to still then dictate the means of production.
Didn't I tell you he was going to? I told you he was going to try to change this. He was going to make up his own definition, or in this essence, use a point that doesn't make sense to try to win an argument. Thank you, Birdman, for breaking this down. Let's see how this goes.
The problem with this framing is that it contradicts the definition of socialism. Literally, in the first definition, it states clearly, or governmental administration of the means of production. So, definitionally, societies where the state or the people control these elements are both still socialist. As I explained earlier, since socialism is primarily concerned with economic policy, socialists can vary widely on how they view government operations. But
this is the reason why I wanted to, again, with Charlie Kirk, you're arguing with people who can't box with you. Argue with somebody who boxes. Like I said, Charlie Kirk's problem was you would go on these college campuses and you would hang out there to try to make your point. You know what I mean? You would do that to make your point. But what you would not do is go to somebody. It just let's just say, because it's the first thing on my mind, some political analyst that actually knows the definition of these things. It doesn't have an agenda, left or right. It's the truth at the end of the day. What is he gonna do? He's gonna fold like that lawn chair, you know what I'm saying, that people was getting smacked with that day on that boat.
In order for a society to not be socialist, aka capitalist, there would have to be private entities that own the means of production. In Nazi Germany, there were plenty of these types of companies. Earlier, I mentioned Krupp. This corporation was owned by Alfred Krupp, a Nazi sympathizer who later became one and participated in slave labor, of which he also profited from. Krupp was just one of many German businesses that profited from slave labor during World War II. This is incredibly important because slave labor is fundamentally antithetical to socialism. Again, socialism by definition requires that workers collectively own and control the means of production.
He is kicking his butt in.
And a slave owns nothing, controls nothing, and has no political or economic agency.
Exactly.
And yet, slave labor and the exploitation of conquered territories during the war was widespread.
The majority of German men are fighting at the fronts of the Second World War. To keep agriculture and the weapons industry running, the Nazi regime forces millions into forced labor. By the end of the war, there are up to 12 million forced laborers, chiefly from occupied territories. Over half are women. They're taken to weapon production at Krupp. Many of the women are barely adult.
Now, does that sound like the definition of socialism to me? Because I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so.
The working prisoners live mostly in inhumane conditions in barracks. Alongside captured soldiers and deported civilians, more than 4 million prisoners from concentration camps are used as forced labor. German armament firms benefit from the forced labor. It is cheaper than regular workers.
Doesn't that sound familiar? Using, forced labor to put people in, and to build a society. And then those people benefit off of it while the people, who eventually was free get nothing. We're told by these same right-wing people that we're not on reparations, but those people did get reparations because of what happened in Nazi Germany. I'm just throwing it out there.
The industry only has to pay loan fees to the SS and the Nazi state. The military machinery requires ever more people to be forced into work. The mass production of rockets, demanded by Hitler, also depends heavily on forced labor.
What you just heard is textbook state-directed capitalism, or the exploitation of people for the benefit of private industry enforced by the state. In fact, under the article for state capitalism on Britannica's website, they specifically list Nazi Germany as one of the examples. So literally nothing Eric can say changes how the Nazis actually operated, as documented by history. What Eric believes he's describing is actually state-directed capitalism. Here, listen to him.
No matter how they claim to be anti-state, the state determines how property is used, who benefits, and in what quantities, always in the name of the common good. And this,
I mean, it's so funny when someone is just, how do you say, loud and wrong, but they sound so good when they say it. Like, this don't sound right.
this is exactly what Nazi Germany did.
As you can see on this Britannica
I'm
article,
just saying,
Eric
I'm just saying, Rico.
described state capitalism, not socialism. In both
Mhm.
state capitalism and certain socialist societies, the state can take over private businesses,
They can.
which is what's confusing Eric. Where they
Exactly.
differ is who ultimately benefits. In a
Exactly.
state capitalist society, private capital or the state itself benefits. In a socialist society, state involvement exists to transfer ownership and control to workers or the public
Everybody.
rather than to preserve private profit or benefit the state itself. This is why socialism doesn't accurately describe Germany at that time. They had slave labor specifically to benefit the war effort and private capital, not to benefit the German worker.
I mean,
Under the
X-Men,
Nazis,
I'm trying to tell
businesses
you.
were not privately owned in any meaningful sense.
Here is where you can tell Eric is being dishonest and his argument starts to show kinks.
Griff is coming. Hearty, the Grifter is coming. And again, it is trying to push a narrative. And again, I always talked about the propaganda that was used against blacks to pull a narrative, especially in the Jim Crow South. A lot, and this is what makes it so sad. You're really putting on a cape for one, for people who don't like you. I'm not talking about white people in general. The white people that will kick you up out of their country club just because you black. Those are people that you want to put your cape on for and be on their political side. But people don't like you. You're a tool for them. You're a hoe. Just a tool. It's true. And you're doing their bidding. And you're you're just loud and wrong. You're loud and wrong, but you don't care because whatever little money you can, because you're a capitalist, whatever money that you can make off of it. Hey, my family is good. No matter if I'm destroying myself or make myself look like crap, or on black people at the same time on that. It don't matter. I got paid. I make more money than you. You know what I'm saying? I got more subscribers than you. I'm doing more than you in life, so it don't matter. That's the argument they're going to use.
He knows Germany had private, for-profit businesses at that time, but he baselessly claims they weren't meaningfully private. This is vague language that doesn't mean anything. Again, there were plenty of privately owned businesses during the Third Reich that didn't primarily benefit the Nazis or their war effort. In fact, the microphone that I'm speaking to you all with, the Neumann U87, was made by one such company, George Neumann. Neumann wasn't controlled by the Nazis, and their profits mainly went to George. Actually, Neumann's wife was a Jew, and George actively fought against the Nazis' attempts to prosecute her. And his factory was literally bombed by the Allies in 1943, so they had all the reason to support the war effort, but he didn't. Eric does not know what he's talking about.
I mean, not only did my man bust his chops, he even has a microphone that is made by somebody who fought against the Nazis. You cannot make this up. It's almost like the irony that happens. I love this. This is why I love doing this live, because you can tie in so many things to be like, even the microphone that I'm using, ties into the story. Tina, this is awesome. I need a Neumann microphone now because obviously, you know what I mean? Obviously, my mic was jacking up or whatever was going on. Now I need a Neumann. Matter of fact, let me check Amazon, see how much a Neumann is. Birdman, hook me up. I need a Neumann too.
Yes, names stayed on buildings, but the state dictated prices, the wages, production quotas, suppliers, buyers, profits, and labor allocation. If you didn't comply, your business was seized or abolished. That is state control of means of production, and it's not capitalism.
Wrong.
Literally not true, as the founder of the company I just spoke about was not controlled by the Nazis in any way, and he actively repelled their attempts to harm his Jewish wife. Seriously, I ask the audience, do you think this guy has thoroughly vetted every German business in the 1930s and 40s to make the claim that he's making?
No.
Because if you answered yes, you might just be brain dead.
I can't afford any of these mics. Good God almighty. One of these mics is $1,500. Hey, we need to, we gonna stop right here. We gonna ask the ushers to get the collection plates going because I need a new microphone and because I am of the cloth and I am blessed by God. I need a microphone that's $1,500. Do you know what I mean? God dog, all right, I'm stopping this I'm just looking at the prices of these mics. God dog. I mean, these mugs are really these microphones are no joke. These are really expensive microphones. I'm not, I'm cool with my $60 fine. But yeah, whenever y'all want to donate to a brother, you know what I'm saying? We getting a Newman, baby. I lock the door. Lock the door. Hey, everybody, lock the door. Go lock the door. Yeah, go lock the doors. We're gonna take up a collection.
And again, if you look at the history of socialism, statism is not separated from it. You have those like the Ferdinand Lassalles of the world that were openly statist, and then you have others trying to redefine what statism actually is to pretend to be separated from it.
This was a meaningless assortment of words. Political philosophy is an ever-evolving field of study. Refining definitions to more accurately describe political philosophies is something that should be encouraged. That's how you get to the truth of a thing. Constant stress testing and refinement. But
he is killing Eric. He getting killed right now. Somebody throw the damn towel. I should have started this mug. Probably would. Every time I do a Birdman clip where he's killing somebody, I gotta go pull the clip for Boys in the Hood where he says, "Y'all want to see a dead body?" Inez, I need a mic. I found one. It's $37.50. Yeah, I can get me a small Focus. You know what I'm saying? About a 20. I can give me a 2013 Focus for the price of this mic. I know. I mean, if I can sound like the Birdman, I'm cool. But he needs to let me borrow something real quick, man. Let me dang. You know what I'm saying? Not blessed. Not my brother. That's my brother. May the Lord bless you with my offering. Now let me out to He said they need the Clippers. Don't be a menace. Oh. That is funny, bro. I appreciate the $5, bro. Let me hook you up, man. We going Super Saiyan with this one.
You are truly amazing. Thank you for your super chat.
Oh man, that's funny. That is funny. All right, let's keep going.
That's the inherent problem with conservatism, being averse to change, even if that change is beneficial to society.
On the other hand, capitalism requires exclusive control and voluntary exchange. The Nazis had neither.
This is incorrect, excluding all the other examples I've already provided.
Hold on, wait a minute. And as you said, gotta Grifter, LOL, talk about Sinners shouldn't be the most nominated film of all time. Wait, let's get through this, though. Hold on. Let's get through this, though. Check for Amazon paper plan.
It's state capitalism is a hybrid system that turns the state from a referee to one of the owners. In historian Richard Overy's book, War and Economy in the Third Reich, he states that German businesses were able to build up assets and reward shareholders during the Third Reich. Clear evidence of a state capitalist economy, not socialism. It's true that certain companies important to the war effort, like oil companies, made deals with or outright submitted to the government. But A, this was not every German business, and B, even those businesses still recorded profits. According to a paper by Cambridge University, private businesses, quote, preserved a good deal of their autonomy even under the Nazi regime, end quote.
You talking about somebody getting beat up? Eric, he's pulling books. You still ain't he ain't lined that beard up in years. That's not right. Maybe, he ain't got to line his beard up. But I'm just saying, he pulling books. Where your books at, buddy? You know what I'm saying? Where's your receipts? My man coming out with CVS and Walgreens receipts. You know what I mean? He's killing you right now, man. Please, somebody help him. Now he drinks Mad Dog 2020. You still
price controls, wage controls, production mandates, massive welfare programs, forced labor, nationalized industry, central planning. Even Hitler explicitly rejected free enterprise and economic liberalism repeatedly.
This is one of those instances that proves these grifters use words without knowing what they mean.
Killing him. Birdman, let him go. He has a family. He has a family. Oh.
Enterprise, as historians use the term, means independent private businesses, minimal state interference, market-driven business decisions, and the freedom to produce, hire, price, and invest without political direction. This is called laissez-faire capitalism, which is a very dangerous type of capitalism that almost always results in some morally bankrupt company dumping toxic waste in your drinking water. It's the short...
I mean... I love an intellectual. One of the reasons why I love watching the Birdman's videos is intellect. Is it's the battle of the intellects. It's the battle of an intellectual person versus someone who's not prepared. I would have loved. Who could Birdman debate? Well, I mean, I know he won't debate or whatever because, but. It's almost like when regular Vision seeing White Vision, they had the theory of Prometheus, I believe that. You know what I mean? I love intellectual breakdown because when you go against these people, you got to research to be able to let the audience know how full of crap these people are. Miss Roberta got a love offering from the mother's board. You know what I'm saying? My check doesn't come until next week. See what you got to do, Sister Roberta, is you got to give all of it. You know what I'm saying? You got to give all of it so the Lord will bless you. You know what I'm saying? Give and it shall be given unto you. Cup runneth over. You know what I'm saying? Tenfold. Hallelujah. Oh, man. Thank you, Miss Roberta. You know what I think you need? A little body roll.
Super chat body roll.
Thank you. Dizzy, I don't know. You tell me. I want to know. I don't want that. I don't want that mic. That mic. Because that mic is expensive. I don't want to pay that unless I got it like that. I ain't got it like that to be paying no. I can have a Ford Focus, you know what I'm saying, that I talk through. You know what I'm saying? I ain't making that type of money. But if I was making that type of money, trust and believe, we get Newmans. You get a Newman. I get a Newman. Everybody gets Newmans.
Shit conservatives consistently vote for that ruins the environment because fuck everybody else, I guess. Yes, Hitler rejected these concepts.
Exactly.
However, what Hitler actually supported was, again, what historians refer to as state capitalism, because he preserved private ownership, protected profits, allowed shareholders, and relied on industrialists that he made deals with. Yes, the state exercised a modicum of control over certain aspects, but that's why it's called state capitalism.
He openly said the individual must serve the community, not the other way around. That's socialism.
It's literally not. That quote has no meaning on its own. If the means of production are owned by the people or the state that then relinquishes control to the people, then that quote references socialism.
It sure has a really good
However,
mic.
that quote is in reference to state capitalism if the community is personified by the state, which it was in the Third Reich.
Exactly.
It's hilarious that this man started this video suggesting there were many types of socialism, but for some reason isn't aware of the various types of capitalism.
Also, and Birdman has pointed it out, there's no references that backs up what Eric is saying. And let me preface this. like how Birdman is giving you the reference and the dates, the times, all of that, like a detective. I mean, he's going straight Batman on this dude, but giving you times, dates, this happened, backed up information. I'm not just saying it. Here it is in history. Here's here, here's here, here's here, here's here. All Eric is doing is talking with a lot of flashy graphics in the background. That doesn't make you right. Or you get what I'm saying? It doesn't make you right. It just make you a talking head that nobody is countering right now.
Now, was it Marxist socialism? No, it was more National Socialism, a collectivist, anti-capitalist system built around race instead of class. Same economic structure, different justification.
No,
Socialism
Mr.
for
Kennedy.
life, if you want to be blunt.
This man has now gone completely off the rails. What's funny about this is the very reason this guy quote tweeted me was to suggest that I didn't address his actual argument when I said that Nazis were socialist in name only. But you all heard him mention the name of the Nazi party, right? How he claimed ad hominem against my tweet is pretty fucking embarrassing. Their name has nothing to do with anything. You might as well say that I am a bird man because my channel's name is The Birdman. In fact, National Socialism doesn't even really mean anything. As I stated on Twitter, they chose that name as a marketing tactic because in the early 20th century, the word socialist was popular. I'm not kidding. That's literally the reason National Socialist was chosen for the name of the party.
And before someone says, but they privatize things, no. If the state tells you how to run your business, what to produce, how much to sell, who to sell to, and at what price, you don't own it. You're a manager for the state.
This is
again, I Eric can put up Nazi symbols and all of that, and I literally can't even get this to go through the proper procedure for ads because of Eric. Not making this up either.
This is why you need a real historian speaking about this topic and not some guy that barely knows what these words even mean.
Exactly.
The Third Reich was unique in a lot of ways, and this was one of them. By definition, they were state capitalists, and nearly everything they did served capitalism in some fashion, most explicitly the usage of slave labor and allowing shareholders to receive dividends. It's true Hitler opposed free market capitalism, but that is one type of capitalism. Eric seems to believe free market capitalism is the only type. I mean, he mentioned welfare as being indicative of socialism, which means he's clearly unaware of welfare capitalism. Do your Googles.
It's not privatization, bros.
I about to say, Birdman, Mika G gonna get you because that's her word to the Googles.
That's socialism with extra paperwork. This is why the economists like look what
Hurricane Pearl, what's up?
Led Nazis explicitly classified Nazi Germany as a form of socialism.
Yes, Mises was a free enterprise economist who had very similar views you do, Eric. I'm not surprised he ended up in your video. Ludwig was also heavily criticized for having an inflexible mind and on his stance on knowing things without ever having experienced them. He was often criticized for literally not knowing what he was talking about, or as Whittaker Chambers put it, Mises's thesis that anti-capitalist sentiment was rooted in envy epitomized know-nothing conservatism at its know-nothingest. In other words, ya mama. My point is that this figure was cherry-picked and does not represent the modern consensus on the Third Reich's economy.
He distinguished it between the German model and the Russian model, but not between socialism and capitalism. Different flavors, same disease. And this pattern repeats throughout history. So
again, he's just talking with flashy backgrounds. Where is the information to educate on this subject? You see none of that. Y'all tell me if I miss something, but I do not see anything that's coming from Eric July that is educating these people with facts, with data, facts, and statistics. Again, shout out to the Godfather Kevin Samuels. You know, data, stats, and statistics. Birdman is pulling them out. Why isn't this guy? And he's the one supposed to be quote unquote teaching people what capital, you know, the difference between capitalism and why Nazis were socialists. But there's no information to back up said claim with that information being from history. There's none. He's just talking. And again, people get wowed by the ooh and ah. It's like in Willy Wonka. when you're going through the tunnel with Willy Wonka and they're freaking out and they're seeing all this stuff, it's exactly where Eric July is coming from before you get to the chocolate factory. And not the chocolate factory that Willy Wonka was talking about, more like our
Socialism promises the collective good, but it centralizes power, crushes dissent, purges enemies, and leaves massive suffering in its wake. Nazis weren't an exception, and they were a variation.
These are propagandistic lies often spread by conservatives and right-wingers seeking to preserve exploitative capitalistic structures. Again, socialism is an economic framework about ownership of production, not a system of governance. It doesn't prescribe how a state treats its people. Socialist economies can exist under authoritarian regimes or liberal democracies, just as capitalist economies can. This weak attempt to paint socialism as inherently evil by incorrectly attributing the philosophy to Nazis only exposes that you don't know what these terms actually mean. The United States currently has socialist programs that you benefit from, Eric. Public infrastructure is a system we all have universal access to, and it's not subject to market failure or demand. The United States Postal Service is a socialized public service that is literally owned by the government and has a universal service obligation that is written into law. A letter costs the same to mail whether it goes across the street or across the country, and you can't be denied service because you're poor. Is USPS crushing dissent and purging enemies?
So no, we don't get to say that it wasn't real socialism just because it ended badly. And you don't get to call it capitalism when private property didn't exist in practice. You can say that it wasn't your socialism, whatever. But historically, economically, and philosophically, the Nazis were
not socialists. Finally, common ground. So, was that good enough for you, Eric? Did I ad hom you this time? Notice how I have actual sources and you have floating PNGs of men that may have said things at one point in time. Look, I know it doesn't take much to please the mouth-breathing lunatics you court on Twitter, but you'd be much better served sticking to grifting on movies that feature Brie Larson or some shit. You know absolutely nothing about these topics, and your desperation to regain relevance by shifting to the right-wing political grift is rather embarrassing. You're not Kobe. They don't love you like that.
Oh, even though he took a shot by homeboy Paul Pierce, I got to give him that because he's right. They don't care. And then what's funny is that I don't know if the tweet is still there, but he was telling, I think Eric tweeted and said, I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? Or some crap like that. I'm like, let me see if because he put I'm not a leftist, but it was he was going back and forth with the Birdman, but he said like he was telling the Birdman that that he didn't know him or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, you know who the Birdman is. Stop playing. I'm trying to find it, but now he said my YouTube goat really digested Evil James Harden in the dust. Not Evil James Harden. Hey, he does look like if Bill Cosby. Hold on, I gotta find this now. Hold on now. Now y'all keep not my man say he had a gas station hat. All right. Let me see. Bill Cosby. Let's do it again. All right. Let me see if they show. Is this what is this? Hold on. Y'all. Hold on. Tell me that Eric doesn't look like Bill Cosby and James Harden did the fusion dance. Just go play a second of it. Tell me they have Mongo Slade. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me he doesn't look like Bill Cosby and James Harden did the fusion dance. Fusion high. But they did it wrong because the finger's missing or the fingers like slightly up. Again, for another 30 seconds. I'm clipping this. Oh, somebody is going to be mad at me on YouTube Shorts. Somebody's going to be very mad at me. I just want to leave that there. I want to leave that there. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave that there because I got to screenshot that. Yeah, piece of the action. I'm trying to tell you. Oh my goodness gracious. Woo! Uptown Saturday night. Oh man. Over there with Biggie Smalls and the Kansas City Mac. Bootling Lee Farnsworth. Oh my goodness. Woo! I love y'all. Those are my movies, though. Let's not get it twisted. I got all those movies. Those are my movies. Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby were man, great comedy duo back in the day. Great comedy duo. But man, y'all can't tell me that ain't funny though. You can't tell me that ain't funny. You can't tell me that's not funny. That's funny. That's funny. It's funny to me. But I love those movies. I love those movies. Especially Let's Do It Again is my favorite. It is my favorite. But yeah. All right. Yeah, that's the one where JJ was the boxer and he hypnotized him. Yes, sir. I love Uptown Saturday Night. I love all those movies out. I love all those movies. Those movies are classics. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you think about Bill Cosby or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or what, you know, I still love those movies. You know what I mean? Still love those movies. Car Wash is a classic. Car Wash is a classic too. But man, with the Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier back in the day, they were man. And the Bill Cosby Pimp Walk. Oh, don't let me go pull out don't let me go pull out this movie and actually watch it. I'm going to take a screenshot of this though. I want to take a screenshot of this. But yeah, I love those movies. Some of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah. But what did you guys think about the Birdman in this video, man? This is one of his like breakdowns. I think this is one of his best ones, man. I don't know.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
Man, D-Sizzle, you gonna have to make me a butter biscuit Eric July special. I'm gonna need a butter biscuit because I need to do a new commercial. I'm gonna need Eric July on that butter biscuit train. You know what I'm saying? Them buttery biscuits made from scratch. You put it with chicken, a perfect match. But anyway, all right. I got to get a potty here, man. Put it in the comment section what you guys thought of this latest Birdman video. This Birdman, hey, my gosh, salute. I got to go back when I get some time to go into his lives again, man. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Dre Max Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vampire, man. Enjoy the rest of your guys' Thursday. Where's my outro at? Yeah, let's do it again, but you already know I gotta go. Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll holler at you guys later. Peace and Bob Hire, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.